Hello, welcome to Bob's Dungeon. My name's Bob, I'll be your host. And it's just about Halloween now, in the year of 2022. Isn't that something? Well, Halloween's the time of year when we start thinking of scary things, creepy things. So I'm going to tell a little bit of a story. And the story isn't really about a role-playing game. It's about something else that I kind of like. The paranormal. And the story takes place way back in the mid-90s, so we're talking 25, almost 30 years ago. And so some of the details are a little fuzzy, but it's a pretty interesting story. At the time, I was working second shift at a job. I've pretty much worked the night shift my whole life, so I love the night shift. Well, when I get off work, my friends at the time, they were all working second shift jobs too, so we'd all get together and we would go out to creepy places and look around and stuff like that. And at one point, I had a friend that moved to Madison, Indiana. And for those of you that are not very informed about Madison, Indiana, it's a pretty nice place. A lot of gorgeous area. But at the time, I don't know if it's still like that. I haven't been there in years. A lot of creepy stuff in Madison, Indiana. A lot of creepy stuff. And I'm sure some of you have heard of some of it. Some of it's kind of really famous. But what I'm talking about doesn't really get a lot of talk. I want to talk about a cemetery. And I don't remember the name of the cemetery. I have plans to go back there and do a creepy places video at some point, but that's sometime in the future. Anyway, this cemetery is very creepy. There are claims that there is a graveyard dog there, which is interesting. And there are these slabs on two of the graves that are really neat. They stay really cool during the summer and very warm during the winter, even when there's snow on the ground. There is a small mausoleum, which for a while it was in disrepair, and you could look in and actually see some bones, which is not cool, but that's how things happen sometimes. It's been repaired since then, I'm sure. Or at least it was back then. Anyway, on the road that runs beside the cemetery, it would go up the hill at one point, and the road, half of the road slid down the hill. So they fixed the road, and it slid down the hill again, leaving half the road. So what they did was they just blocked it off at the bottom of the hill, blocked it off at the top of the hill, and decided that it was now a people trail. And that's pretty interesting. But in the woods around this place, it was all surrounded by woods. There was something dark in those woods. I don't know what. Some people said demon. Other people said it was a ghost of a evil, twisted preacher. I don't know. Those might just be stories. But at any rate, very creepy. And we would go there when I go down to Madison to see my friend at night, and we'd look around the cemetery, and then we'd walk that trail from the bottom to the top. And several times walking that trail, we've been chased. Don't know by what, couldn't see anything. It was pretty dark, even with flashlights. So it could have been wild dogs, maybe a bear, who knows. Or it could have been something supernatural. Well, on one outing when we were doing it, my friend had this big plan. We would go do the cemetery and the hill. Then we go back to his house. And he had bought some homemade moonshine from a friend of his. And it was in a Mountain Dew 2-liter bottle. So we had 2 liters of moonshine. And the plan was we'd do the hill and then we'd all go back to his house and we'd drink the moonshine and talk about what happened. Well, we got chased by something. Don't know what. My friend Anthony says he saw it. Whether he really did or not, I don't know. But he ran so fast, he beat us back to the house. And he drank the entire 2-liter bottle of moonshine. All by himself. It's a miracle he didn't die. Of course, he did pass out, and he rolled under the kitchen table. And we were so angry, we left him there. Next morning, he wakes up, and he smacks his head on the bottom of the kitchen table because he has no idea where he is, knocks himself back out. We probably should have took him to the hospital, but we were still angry, and we left him there. Eventually, he woke up. He was fine. No concussions, no alcohol poisoning that we know of. And he drew us a picture of what he saw, which looked like a 3rd grader's drawing of Bigfoot. Only worse. So, anyway, that's my story of this little creepy place in Madison. If I could remember the name of the cemetery, I would definitely tell you. But it's definitely worth a look if you can find it. I plan on doing a video about it at some point, a proper video where I go look at it, take footage, and that way I can show you what it's all about. Maybe I'll pick something up, who knows, but it's still there. I haven't seen the place in like 25, 30 years, so I don't know what it looks like anymore, but I'm pretty sure that it's still a cemetery and that it's probably still scary as hell. So now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some bodies in the yard that I gotta take care of. Happy Halloween. Bye.